Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the final third. We've got a very special fan zone. This is the Chelsea edition, and I'm joined by an all-star guest. We saw that Roman Abramovich got the bag out to support Fred Lampard, so the final third had to get the bag out as well. You see the stars. We've got Anita in the right corner, Shemi over there, Thomas, Tio, and Jeffrey right in the bottom corner. I'm your host, Banks, and today we're going to be discussing Chelsea's upcoming season. So I want to quickly rewind to the 1920 season. Frank Lampard stepping into the job after a season at Derby. Not a lot of people gave him hope for finishing in the top four. How do you not see that season going? Because he was in the top four for a lot of it, and in the end, it kind of became a race between you, Chelsea, Leicester, and United. So how did you all see that season? Starting with Anita.
Oh, child, do you know what? It was better than what I thought it would be. So I can't even be complaining, I promise you. I thought it was going to come 10th when we started the league. Like, I was thinking 10th, 11th, before the kids and that. But honestly, like, finishing top four, even though I was hoping we'd finish third above United, but I can't have my cake and eat it. Finishing top four, it was amazing. Getting to a final as well, it was fine. Yeah, I enjoyed the season. I thought everyone was really crap, so it just made it that much more interesting.
Okay. Shemi, you want to go next?
Yeah, just to reiterate what Anita said, making top four and getting to a final was fantastic. To be honest, the season went kind of how I expected it to be in terms of like there being some really good periods and some really, really bad periods. Obviously, because we had a lot of young players coming in, the squad was very transitional in a sense, like in terms of personnel and all of that. So I expected the up and down. I expected the inconsistency. Sorry. But overall, to make top four was a great achievement, and yeah, I was very, very happy with it. Obviously, it was unlucky with the final, but to be honest, that was the lesser of what was most important. What was most important was making top four, because obviously, I think we kind of knew that this summer we were going to get a lot of players in, so having Champions League for them to come into was the main objective, and I'm happy we achieved that. So yeah, man.
I'm just going to quickly introduce Jeffrey in the bottom corner. Finally came on the visuals and the audio.
Hello,
so Tio, what do you think of last season?
Wait, do you know what? I'll be honest with you, I wasn't expecting much, but I will say, did we overachieve? No, I'd say we did what we had to do. Like, fourth place, I was happy with that. I'd say I would have wanted us to win a cup. But at the same time, I expected the up and down, the stress. We all know the stress was mad, but then they were youngsters. So to be honest, I'd say they did well. They did what they had to do. Lampard did what he had to do with the team. And hopefully we can get on to bigger things next season. So yeah.
Thomas?
Yeah, I'm just gonna echo the sentiment from everyone else, basically. Obviously, what I want to highlight really is the fact that Chelsea lost the best player in the league in Eden Hazard, obviously. And we had a transfer ban, and we're getting a coach in that's literally just had 1 year of experience at the top level, right? And that's not even at the top level, it's just in the championships at Derby. So putting all of that together, those were the variables going in this last season. I thought we like Tia said, we did what we had to do. Like we finished top four. We made sure that that project that Frank Lampard is putting together now is still going on. And look. If we're looking at this summer, you can see exactly the fruits that we're bearing from all of that. So it's just more of the same. We're still building. We're only in year 2 of that project. So still, for me, patience. That's what last season was about. Patience.
I like the way everyone just naturally agreed Eden Hazard's the best player in the league. I like the way there was no complaints. Jeffrey,
there was no debate about that one too.
Jeffrey, what was your thoughts on last season's accomplishments for Lampard and his boys?
I think he did well. You have to remember some of the players' debut seasons, quite young, quite inexperienced, and obviously we lost Hazard. Couldn't really bring anyone in apart from Pulisic, and he achieved really well. Getting to the FA Cup final was okay. Bayern, they did what they did to us, but for us to
get
Did
there
something to you
and
still. Did something.
to,
We don't like to
to
talk about
see
that.
to see the
They did
level.
something. They did
Yeah, like
something.
to see.
It's science.
They did a lot to us. They did a lot to us, but to kind of see the level we're aspiring to like get to and kind of learn from that, you know, I think everyone did well. Everyone's got 1 year more experience now, and hopefully we can just build on that.
Moving on to the transfers, Chelsea has been by far one of the biggest movers and shakers in the transfer window in comparison to their top 6 rivals, bringing in the likes of Werner, Ziyech and Thiago Silva, with moves for Mendy and Declan Rice still muted. What have you thought about your transfer activity so far? Is it enough to close the gap? Because there was a big gap to Liverpool and even City. So do you feel like it's enough to close that gap, or do you still need more? I'll start with Shemi.
First of all, Jay's bad vibes, you know. How can you mention the Bayern Munich game? But yeah,
unprovoked. Everyone came with good vibes.
Literally. In terms of the
You have
transfers,
to be real, you know. You have to be real.
In terms of the transfers, yeah, I do believe that it's enough to close the gap. I'm not whether it's enough to actually like win the title or like anything like that remains to be seen. But in terms of actually closing the gap, I think it's definitely enough, and that's just because of the quality of players that we've signed. So Ziyech, we all saw what he did in Ajax's semi-final run. Werner has been he's been a deadly striker for a minute in terms of like his numbers. He's been doing it for a minute. Kai Havertz, someone that not everyone has watched, but I managed to watch during lockdown, and I feel like he's just a fantastic player. So as long as everybody settles in, and which is not a given, to be fair, it's not actually a given. Being Chelsea fans, we know that these big signings don't always go to plan. But as long as everybody settles in, I do believe we can close the gap to at least stay in the title hunt for at least I'd say about 3/4 of the season. So yeah, my prediction is that I think we'll finish around 3rd, but I feel like if we can at least stay in the hunt till about March maybe, I think that's a decent accomplishment. Because I don't necessarily expect everyone to kind of like.
So I've seen Anita's face. She's not really agreeing with you. Anita, what's your thoughts right now?
Yeah, like you're just bare half-hearted. Like it's either you want us in the title race or you don't till March. What do you mean till March? We're gonna be in the title race till the end. Like
I hear it.
I genuinely think we're gonna be in a title race up until the end. Maybe we might drop off in like the last couple of games. Maybe depends on the team. I think we're gonna come second, and it's not gonna be a second where it's like 96 points and like 82 points. No, it'll probably be like 93, 89, something like that. I think it's gonna be very close. And on top of that, we'll probably come to that later. But on top of that, Liverpool's not coming first. So that, in my opinion,
Can I just quickly interject?
It's the big smoke. Shemi go.
Can I quickly count that? Yeah, the only reason why I said in terms of like not going all the way is because even though we've signed quality players, I still feel like in terms of what we have compared to City and Liverpool, I still feel like there is a little bit of a gap. So for example, I still believe Pep and Klopp are still a level above Frank, and I still believe that in terms of where they are in their process, they're a lot further than we are. Do you get what I'm saying? So I still feel like, although we sign quality players, I still feel like there is still a process to happen. And to be fair, me saying that we'll stay in until that point, it's just me being humble, to be honest. I want to stay until the end. I want to win.
There's no room for humble on this show. No room for humble.
I hear it, to be fair. But for example, seeing how like Liverpool went about their process took about 3-4 years before they got to where they are. The same thing with City when Pep came in, even though they've done a lot of big investment, it still took a while. I still believe that it will take some time, but I fully expect us to at least challenge for most of the season.
All right, before Tio, go.
Yeah, I'd say that with us, like Chelsea has always been the last 10 years, we've been the most successful club in England. Like we've always had that fear factor, and I feel like last year we lost that. I think that was the key with us, and I think that was down to 2 things. One being we didn't finish enough chances. We created chances, we just didn't finish. I think there was a stat saying we were the 3rd best in terms of like creating chances for in the league. Yeah. And then the second thing, which everyone knows, our defense was pants. 2 things: we conceded too many goals and we didn't score enough goals, and that's what wins us games. So I feel like a lot of the time teams were just not afraid of us. You had like Bournemouth coming and beating us. We were losing games we should not be losing, drawing games we shouldn't be drawing. Everyone felt like they could get points off us. Whereas you don't feel that when you play Liverpool or City, you're scared. So I feel like this season with these signings, we've got that fear factor back. Like, you're looking at Havertz, Werner, Ziyech. I feel like Ziyech will be the biggest one. Everyone's quiet about him, but I honestly believe Ziyech will be the biggest one. If you're looking at these players, you've got Thiago Silva in the back as well. Hopefully Mendy comes through. Like, people are afraid. If you look at the Twitter, the fans are just talking about us. Like, Chelsea better win the league. People are scared. They're afraid. So I do believe this season we're going to challenge. We're going to close that gap. We might not come first, but I do believe we've got that fear factor back. So we're definitely challenging, 100%.
Right, I want to go Thomas and then I'll go Jeff. Just your thoughts on the transfer window now.
All right, cool. So yeah, just piggyback off Tio again, obviously. I just want, literally, essentially, do you guys remember that 2013-14 season when Mourinho's second stint came back first, right?
Yeah.
We were challenging, like we were like 2-3 games away from the title.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be that sort of season this year, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be about like gelling the players like Havertz and Werner and Ziyech. And Mount and all of these guys, Pulisic, just coming together and learning how to play with each other. That's gonna be very important for these guys. So it's gonna be an up and down season again, but you never know. Like, it's literally so up in the air that you never know what could happen. So we'll see what happens, is what I'm saying, basically.
Jeff, roll through.
I agree. I think it's going to be an up and down season. I think we need to give all these new players, some time to adjust. Some might adjust very quickly and, like blow the league out of the water kind of thing, but others might take a bit more time and, we might be seeing shouts about them not reaching this and not reaching that. I feel like we need to give them time, and I feel like next season is like a very pivotal season for us. I think next season is where we will see, the real Chelsea, but we still got gaps in our squad. I think we can't forget that, because like Thiago Silva centre-back pairing kind of still up in the air. Who do we really trust? Obviously, we might be getting a new keeper, but the level of keepers that, City and Liverpool have compared to us, there's still a little gap. So we've done really well this window, really well to get, it seems like our first choice targets in. But I think we do need to exercise a bit of patience, and I don't think we should be, talking about challenging for the title just yet. But I think third should be ours, like secured, and we kind of move forward from there.
Can I just quickly jump in?
Go through.
I feel like there will be a bit more ups than downs, in the sense that because of the quality of the players we signed and like the firepower that we've got in, I feel like we can iron out the inconsistencies of last season. So as you mentioned, the games like teams like Bournemouth and teams like West Ham that came to the bridge and just roll us over our scoring, I feel like we'll see less of those games because of the firepower that we've brought in. So like that's Werner and Havertz on top of that. So I feel like in that sense, we might gain a bit more consistency in terms of results and wins. That's why I feel like this season, in terms of, there'll be a slightly more ups than downs. But as you said, I agree with the points about us gelling and having to give it time a little bit, because it's still a bit of a process. But also, just one other thing as well. I think what's most satisfying about the transfer window is that for me, it's just the ambition. Because Chelsea, for the last, I'd say 3-4 years, haven't shown any ambition in the transfer window since probably since Mourinho's second season when he won the title with Courtois, Hazard, Costa. I feel like that was the last time we actually showed ambition in the transfer window. So to see us actually trying to get back to the top again, it's only positive, and it just shows that we're still the big dogs in the footballing team. So
Ania, did you want to
back up that? So
I just wanted to chime in.
Do you guys remember 2017? Antonio Conte spent 200 mil. So it wasn't lack of ambition. It was just the players that were positive. It's completely different this year. Like, they're actually thinking this time. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like in 2014-15, I'm not trying to compare Lampard to Mourinho, but we brought in 2 players, that basically made that season, Costa and Fabregas, It didn't take them that long to gel. We've got one of the best strikers in Europe at the moment after Lewandowski. We've got one of the best midfielders that everybody seemed to have wanted but couldn't afford. We've got an all right left back who's better than Marcus Alonso and Emerson anyway. You know, we've got probably, yeah, everyone's better than everyone. We've got like the best, well, most experienced centre back in our back four now, and I just feel like these are all components to a team that can challenge for the title. And when I say that we can challenge, I don't mean like everyone else isn't gonna be isn't gonna challenge as well. I think Liverpool's definitely gonna challenge as well. However, who have Liverpool signed? We've got to look at those factors. Who have Liverpool signed? Who have United signed? Who have Tottenham signed that can make them be on the level that we are going to be at? I think a lot of Chelsea fans are a bit scared to say, oh yeah, we can finish second, we can finish third, which is fine. But at the end of the day, this is Chelsea Football Club. We have a standard, and next season Lampard's going to have to try and maintain that. No matter if he's a club legend or not, we all know what Roman's about. If we're not getting at least top 3, or we're not challenging for that title to the very death, Lampard's gone. So I genuinely feel like with all these signings, all of that third, or I'm being humble, now being like first or second is what I'm wanting and what I'm expecting with all the money that we spent.
Theo, go quickly.
I do agree with what you're saying, and it's bold. And to be honest, I wish you were our manager as well, because you're better bold with it. But I will say that the reason why a lot of the Chelsea fans are saying third, fourth, all this kind of stuff is because it's Lampard. Do you get what I mean? There's a lot that he still needs to learn. And let's be honest, we all know the mistakes he made last year. We all know the mistakes. There were times where we'd be saying, bring on this guy, bring on that guy, and he'd take quite a while, like a long time, to react and make decisions. And the key was Mourinho. He was a born winner. You know Mourinho's a born winner as a manager. Lampard as a manager is not yet at that level. Alongside that as well, we don't even know if he understands the right system for Chelsea last season. And there's no way he would understand the right system for Chelsea this year. He's still testing out.
He's got his players that he wants, so wouldn't he create that system?
I understand that, but at the same time, there's a lot of these players, like Havertz could be, God forbid, he could be a flop. It's happened to us, but God forbid, but he could be. And
stop that.
God forbid, but let's be honest.
Jeffrey's vibes are spreading around the place. They're spreading.
God forbid, innit?
No, wait, I did this. No, I did this.
But at the same time, you know what?
Let me clear that up.
You know that as a club, when the tourists, we all know when the tourists, when it comes to flops, Shevchenko, look at De Bruyne, look at Marco Marin, Salah, Cuadrado, all of these. So, do you know what I'm saying? So, like, let's be honest and let's be realistic here, innit? Liverpool was a 3-year plan. City was years as well. It took years. They started from Mancini all the way up. Now they got Pep. So give it time. That's what I'm saying, innit? Like, we all want to win the title as much as we can.
As much as I love this topic, we're gonna have to move on just for time circumstances. One, I just want a quick fire thought. You lot are linked with Declan Rice very strongly. It looks as if he's a player that Frank Lampard really wants. Just quick fire thoughts. Yes or no on him? How do you rate him? Starting with Ania.
I say yes. I don't rate him as highly as other people might, but I like his versatility. We can play him DM or we can play him centre back. So I'm not mad at it. I would pay the 50 mil that he's asking for.
Shemi?
Personally, I'd say no. Number one, I'm a bit scared of the price. I think they're going to ask for like a bit more than 50 million. I think they're looking at like 70 from what I've seen. I don't know, I could be wrong. But the price, number one, I don't feel like his quality warrants that price. And when the tourists will just waste their money for no reason. Number two, in terms of his position, so he can play DM and centre back. And I think we're actually okay for DMs and centre backs, especially so with the centre back situation. I was seeing yesterday that the Tomori deal to Everton, like it's kind of in the air. It's not for certain. So if that doesn't go through and we bring in Rice, we've got an overload of centre backs. Do you get me? Yeah. And in terms of DM, I genuinely feel like we can last without him in DM, like with Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante. I genuinely feel like we'll be okay. I don't feel like DM is a necessity at the moment. I do feel like long term we do need to get another DM, but I feel like for now, at least until January, I feel like we can do without a DM. Like I feel like the DMs we've got at the moment are all right. That's just my opinion anyway. I don't know about. Yeah, for me personally, my ratings with Jorginho have dropped off since when we first signed him. I don't rate him as highly as I used to. I don't think he's a starter for me personally, but I feel like he is good enough to at least play a good part of the season, in my opinion. I feel like what he offers in terms of like controlling the midfield, dictating the tempo of the game, I feel like is key. In terms of his physicality, that's my issues with him. That's why I don't feel like he should be a star. I'm comfortable with Kovacic and Kante starting a double pivot.
We'll go. Sorry, just for time circumstances, we're gonna have to move on.
Sorry.
Tio, what's your thoughts?
As a midfielder, no. As a defender, yes.
Okay.
I just feel like in the midfield, like we've just got too many players like right now. Unless we get rid and sell two, we still got Drinkwater, Bakayoko, all these players. Like it's just a waste of money on the wage bill. But as a centre back, I think we still need some assurance in the back alongside Thiago Silva. If he gets injured, what happens then?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we need that depth, man. The games are coming thick and fast. So as a centre back, yes.
Jeff?
For the reported prices I'm seeing, no. I also think we need to focus on squad trimming, but he is like a good target for us. And, you know, I don't think he's a necessity right now, but, you know, next season, definitely go for him. Yeah, like he'll add to our squad a lot with leadership, with Premier League experience, and he's got youth. So yeah, definitely.
And finally, Thomas.
Just not now.
Yeah, so I think. Oh no, I don't know. Like before, it was a dead cert that I think, yeah, definitely Declan Rice. We need like an experienced player at the back or something like that. Obviously, he plays DM at the moment, but he started his career as a centre back actually. So in his youth, he used to play as a centre back. How much has he lost, like as a centre back? That thinking as a centre back, has he lost that? That's my worry. I don't know. Like it's a little bit of a risk, essentially. But if I had to put an answer down to it, I guess as a centre back, yes, simply because we've literally got nothing there at the moment. Obviously, Thiago Silva's coming in, but nothing is established there at the moment. We're still looking for the right player there, right? Yeah. As a DM, I don't know, because you've got guys like Billy Gilmore and Ethan Ampadu coming through as well. So it's a sticky one still.
Moving on. We've discussed this previously, but a big issue for Chelsea last season was at the back, conceding goals, very silly goals, unpreventable goals. I think in the Premier League alone, you conceded 54 goals. How can Frank Lampard and his new look defence go about rectifying that?
I think he needs to stick to one centre-back pairing. If he sticks to one centre-back pairing, and then they can, like, you know, try to understand each other and play as a pairing rather than individuals, headless individuals, I might add, then I think that would really help solidify the back four. Just stick with a simple back four and we'll be good.
Okay. Shem?
Yeah, I think naturally the players that we brought in will make a difference. So I feel like a lot of our issues last season were personnel. So bringing in Thiago and Ben Chilwell, I think, will naturally make a difference. As Anita said, he needs to find the right pairing at the back because consistency is needed. All this chopping and changing, it's just not going to cut it. So yeah, and I think Thiago's leadership will make a big difference. His experience as well. So I think naturally it will improve itself just by the personnel.
Go Tio next.
I personally think, I'll jump on what Anita said in terms of there needs to be some sort of consistency, but the problem is that because they're young players, they were young players last year and there wasn't much experience, or the experience that we had, which was Rudiger, was just doing some crazy things. It was hard for him to find that consistency, but I do believe with Thiago Silva involved this year, pairing him with the right person, which is still kind of up in the air, I think he will find some consistency. That should help with our defence. And hopefully Mendy comes through, because I don't trust Kepa at all. So, yeah.
I'll go Jeff next and then Thomas.
Yes, I think Silva coming in will add some leadership. He does need a consistent partner beside him. And I think he also needs to help the team focus on set pieces in training, because the amount of goals we conceded was like terrible. Like, it was horrible. And kind of zooming in a bit more on, you know, defensive training and set pieces, and I think playing 4-2-3-1 with Kovacic and Kante holding, we should be able to stop leaking as many goals as before. I also think with some players it may just be a confidence issue. You know, Christensen had dips and whatnot, Zuma had dips and whatnot, Rudiger had dips. So I think it's just up to Lampard to find the correct pairing, put his arm around the players that aren't playing, and give them the motivation that they need to, you know, displace the other centre backs and create some good competition in the team.
Thomas, I'll put this one to you because Jeffrey talked about the set pieces, and that was another big issue for you. Do you feel like Lampard and Jody Morris together have the ability to cut out those sort of mistakes from set pieces?
I'm going to start and say Edouard Mendy that we're linked with is actually 6'6", and when it comes to crosses, guy's a beast. So I feel like there's definitely that sense that coaching needs to be better. But I think we did sign a new coach as well. So I think his name is Anthony Walker from Wigan. He'll help a little bit. And just the fact that we've got a completely new defence. Don't forget, like, my starting back four would be Chilwell, Thiago Silva, Zuma, Reece James. That's what I would have. Mendy in goal. That alone, that's literally such an improvement compared to the personnel we had before. So Lampard and Jody have a lot more tools to play with now when it comes to defending set pieces, for example. We've just got a completely different lookout now. That would be my starting back four, and I hope that happens because that would be something serious.
I'm going to put this question to everybody. We've seen in the past, Roman hasn't been afraid to open up his checkbook and give managers the money. But do you feel like this has added an extra pressure on Lampard to succeed this season? Because we've seen if given the money and they don't succeed, Roman's been quick with the axe. He's been ready to let managers go. Is there an added pressure to Lampard's head this season?
Yeah, definitely. Because like there's no like buffer from like last season. You know, last season it was a thing of inexperienced manager, young players, transfer ban, losing Eden Hazard. Now that's all gone, and he's got the backing for this window. He signed a number of quality players. So I genuinely feel like it's on him now. And if he doesn't deliver, then I feel like I'll be on him, and I feel like a lot of the Chelsea fan base will be on him. And I feel like Roman will be on him as well, most importantly. So yeah, he has. There's the pressure is definitely on him this season to take us to that next level. And one thing we didn't mention as well is Europe as well. We've got to go further in Europe too.
Yeah, he knows though. He knows. I think literally the last presser, he literally said like, "I love the pressure." You know, that's how he was talking. He was like, "I know there's more pressure on Chelsea, but that's when I thrive." So he knows he's putting that pressure on himself as well. So he knows that if he doesn't do a good enough job, he knows that he'll warrant the backlash essentially. So yeah, Lamps is definitely like, he's always been that model professional, so he knows for sure.
I don't think the pressure is on him as much as it would be if like it was Jose Mourinho or Carlo Ancelotti or like Scolari and all of them, man. I don't think the pressure is as much because I think contrary to what Shemi said, like Chelsea fans will not, we won't turn on him. Like he's literally probably the best legend that we've had come out of Chelsea since the Abramovich era. Obviously Drogba in close contention, but I don't think Chelsea fans will turn on him that quick. There's a lot of leniency with him, but I think for sure, if we don't make top 4, he's out of a job. If we do make top 4, good. But the third season, Roman will want a trophy, and that's when the pressure will kick in, because that's when Chelsea fans will start to question him. Probably won't turn on him, will question him, and Roman will definitely turn on the heat, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was going to say that I agree with what Anita's saying. I feel like the Chelsea that we know now is very different to the Chelsea of years back where we had Conte, Ancelotti, all these people. I feel like with getting Lampard involved and the introduction of Lampard, there's a lot more stability. I feel like he's been given years. There's a plan behind everything. Look at Petr Cech involved, Marina. Like, it just seems there's more class to it now. Do you get what I mean? And there's this sort of plan that I think where Lampard, obviously he has to make top 4. That's a given. If he doesn't, then boy, like he will lose his job. But if he gets fair plays, we score more goals, we bring that brand of football that Roman wants, defend better as well, maybe win a cup along the way. I think it's a good season for him. And I think then, like Anita said, that third season is where it's like, we want a Premier League. Do you understand what I mean? Even if we make it to the semis and the champs or the quarters, like further than not, everything needs to be an improvement. Close the gap in terms of points, win the cup, so get to the final and win it, and then obviously get further in the Champions League, and then we progress that way. So yeah, he's got time. I think he's got more time.
Yeah, that's essentially what I was going to say. I think the pressure is to like improve on last season. I think a lot of pundits are now adding more pressure, talking about we should challenge for this and that. I don't think Abramovich is looking at it like that. I just think, you know, he wants the defence to improve. He wants the new signings to thrive. He wants to get further in the Champions League. He wants to win a cup competition. And, you know, with our spending, we should probably secure third place. So in terms of pressures, it's pressure to like improve on what we've already built on with the lack of signings and the transfer ban and whatnot. But it's not pressure to like win something right now where you're set.
Okay.
Yeah, can I just quickly just add on to that? Just to make it clear, I feel like pressure and time can exist at the same time. Do you get me? Like, just because you're under pressure doesn't mean you don't have time. Do you get me? I feel like Lampard can be under pressure this season to improve, but as long as that's there, maybe let's say we improve or we don't win a trophy, he still has the backing of like Roma and the fan base and all of that. But yeah, and as Thomas said as well, I feel like he's genuinely aware. If you see his whole demeanor, even when we finished fourth when we beat Wolves on the last day of last season, he wasn't overexcited. He knew that, okay, cool, this is done. Now we need to go forward. So he's genuinely aware. I feel like he's genuinely aware. So yeah.
Just to round off quickly, I want everyone to give me where they think Chelsea's going to finish this season and who your top goal scorer is going to be. So I'll start with Thomas.
I'm going to say we're finishing second this year in the Premier League, and our top goal scorer will be Timo Werner.
Timo Werner. All right. I'm going to Tio next.
You know what? I was going to say third, but second, you know, I'm feeling positive, and I think it'll be Werner as well.
Okay, neat as a positive is spreading, and they're trying to push Jeffrey's bad vibes away. I see the dynamics. Anita, go next, please.
I think, again, we're definitely going to finish second. And I think top scorer, Golden Boot winner, Werner, next season, for sure.
Go Jeffrey next.
You are going to kill me here, but I actually think third. But I think Timo will also be the top goal scorer. I'm trying to be realistic, guys, please.
Get out, bro.
Fali Shemi.
All right, Jeff, I'm with you. I'm going to say third top scorer.
Great stuff.
Yeah. And I'll ask a quick question to the guys that said third year. Do you still believe that City and Liverpool have a better squad than us? Honestly.
Yeah. I think we're playing catch up. You know, last season we were 33 points behind. And
the first team squad. Looking at the midfield, let's say Salah, Mane, or Salah and Mane get injured, and it's just Firmino.
And also, do you guys?
We have to have the same argument for our team, you know. So it's kind of difficult because if we say Pulisic and Ziyech and whoever get injured, then it's like kind of the same argument. Can the people who are on the bench step up?
I'm going to disagree there. I think in terms of squad depth, we're in a really, really good position. Yeah. I think squad depth, we're probably second behind City, I'd say. Yeah. So I'd say we have a better squad than Liverpool because we've got players that can come in if our first teams get injured. But I'd say City are just ahead of us in terms of for me, it's the managers as well because Klopp especially. Yeah. Klopp is phenomenal. Like that's a game changer for me. Like he's phenomenal. So I think that kind of evens it out. Do you get me? Because Klopp knows how to maximize what they're working with. Do you get me? And if they get Thiago, then for me that's them like nearly like that's a big way for them retaining the title. But yeah, for me it's the managers. Klopp is a game changer for me, even though their squad is not as good as ours in terms of depth. That's just my opinion, anyway.
My question is, do you guys think Liverpool and City will be at the same level as they were last season?
I think City will definitely be better than last season because Pep he wants blood. Like I can see it in his eyes that man wants blood. Liverpool, I think that there's more problems in Liverpool than just the midfield. I think Thiago is not. He's a fix for the midfield in terms of like creativity and holding off defenses and stuff. He's a fix. However, up front as well, they just need to strengthen their squad. They really do, and they can't. Technically, for 2 seasons, they could have won the league for 2 seasons. So if you look at it this way, they've hypothetically got 2 Premier League trophies and a Champions League. They're tired. They're actually tired. Like, they're not going to be the same unless they find somebody to come in behind Mane or Salah and get that bum Firmino out. He's a bum.
You don't like Firmino?
No, Firmino's a bum.
I think he's a king, bro.
He's a disgrace of a number 9.
What?
Yes, he is. I don't care for this whole Klopp system of Firmino dropping back. If you're gonna drop that deep, you're a midfielder. Thank you. You're a midfielder.
Anybody that takes the whole season.
Firmino's a number 6.
Anybody that takes the whole season to score at home, then you gotta be asking questions of them. Man. The whole season.
Did it against.
You not know that.
Did it against us as well? Like, come on, man.
Come on, man.
You don't know nowadays, strikers or not. You got strikers in this world that just don't score as many goals. Like Giroud, for example, doesn't score bare goals. He doesn't score loads of goals.
And that's why Giroud doesn't start for us, babe. Unfortunately.
For real.
There's strikers in teams that are there not just to score goals nowadays. Firmino's that link between.
I agree, still. Yeah.
I agree. He's the link, but at the same time, like, he's missed bare chances last season. So you can't even say he's not even getting the chances. He's not in the area. Like, he gets a chance, he just.
You know what?
He ain't got the boot for it.
You know what?
Well, you know what? Yeah, the Liverpool segment has been done in it. Like, let's focus on our club. Let's talk about
real quick
Liverpool.
for me. Last one for me. Yeah. Basically, Firmino is not a striker. The strikers Liverpool have are Salah and Mane. That's what it is. That's how they play. Firmino is actually not a striker. He's a false 9, number 10.
He's a number 10. He's a number 10, man.
Yeah, agreed.
Fair enough. We'll agree that Firmino is a number 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14.
Defensive striker.
Whatever he wants to do for Klopp, that's cool.
He's a defensive striker, bro.
Defensive striker, them ones there, fam. Just gonna quickly round up. I thank everybody for coming on the final third, sharing your thoughts on Chelsea's new season. Should be an exciting one. I'm gonna leave the floor open for everybody to shout out their respective platforms, because I know you are all doing big things in your own respective. So if anyone wants to shout out anything, get everybody to follow. Now's the time.
I'll go first still. So my name is Thomas. I am the CTO of Breaking the Lines. It's a football community platform. Basically, hit us up on BTL Vid. That's at BTLVID on Twitter. Just follow us on there, or breakingthelines.com. We're going to relaunch really soon, a little exclusive for you guys.
Come on.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, innit? We'll see how it goes.
Some of the best comps in the game came from that site. These will have the comp up like 6 minutes after the match. I don't understand how you do it.
Bro.
I don't understand.
Yeah, back in the days, man. That was it, yeah.
I've got nothing to promote. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah. I'll promote my events business quickly. So, yeah, just follow that up. Uncle Tio PR, Uncle Tio UK, follow that up. And also, I've got a lettings business starting as well soon, student lettings. So that's called a COM, ACCOM. So watch out for that as well.
Love that.
I'll go next. So my @ on Twitter and Instagram is at FLWN_. You can find me on Gold Diggers UK, and you can find me. Yeah, big up Gold Diggers. You can also find me on the Football Terrace as well on YouTube, and you can also find me on FLWN on YouTube as well.
Everyone follow up. Shemi?
Follow me on Twitter. My @ is @__Shems. That's SEMSS. I write about predominantly Chelsea, but also have a couple other football blogs there and there. And follow up Turning Tables UK, because I'm going to be writing for them as well.
Big up. Guys, again,
follow the final third, guys. Follow the final third.
Come on, man. That's natural, man.
Already.
Thank everybody for coming on the show today. This has been the Chelsea Fan Zone Final Third. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. That's the Final Third on YouTube. Also follow on our socials, Instagram and Twitter at the Final Third _ no, at the Final 3RD _. Gotta make that distinction. Again, thank everybody for coming on this.